Hello. Hello, how are you? Hope everyone is okay. Hi, dishes and stitches. Perth is in lockdown. Happened very quickly, very suddenly, in a matter of hours. One case to date, but our Premier has always said if he gets even one case that isn't a traveller quarantining, he would shut the state down, and he's practically done that. So he's done what he said he would do. We're all going along okay. Not much of a difference for us, really, except that we've got to wear masks when we go out. But this guy went around to a lot of places where he was infectious. So far there haven't been any cases, but a lot of people are going to have to be tested quite a bit. Yeah, like not really much of a difference for myself and hubby. You know, we're limited to, you know, going out to get essential shoppings, doing an hour's exercise, or going to medical appointments, and we've got to wear a mask. So apart from going out a little bit less, not much difference. And wearing a mask when we're out, yeah. So I'm going to be asking, will McCarthy stamp down on Taylor Greene and strip her of her assignments? Why did Lindsay Graham warn against bringing in witnesses and threaten them with the FBI? Everyone else is saying, great, bring in the FBI. Saying, oh, it would stretch the trial out for months. Well, if it does, it does. You can always, you know, do other stuff in conjunction. They did it with Bill Clinton, and if they vote against doing that with this one, well, then, you know, just, yeah. Hi, Debbie Fitzsimmons. So there are a couple of things that we're going to look at. Yeah, Pompeo has disappeared. It appears that somebody's doing a run on silver. Everyone said, oh, it was the Reddit guys, but they're saying, no, it's not us. It's Reddit has a site called, oh, I can't remember what it's, Beat the Wall or something like that. And apparently they've had 2 million new people join. Hi, GMR5. Hi, Sharon Lee. And yeah. So now they're doing a run on silver, but the Beat the Wall guys are saying, well, it's not us who are doing it, but someone's saying it's them. So, yeah, you know. So how much are people going to mess with the stock market? Before the messing with, they're doing a run on silver. Stock market is clamped down on. Elizabeth Warren has called for investigations into it. Long overdue, I think. So McCarthy talking to Taylor Greene, and the Democrats have threatened that if he doesn't discipline her and strip her of her assignments, they will. All it takes is a majority vote. It's not the way they really want to go, but, you know. Hi, Kathy W. Why did Lindsey Graham warn against bringing in witnesses? Well, duh. And one of the Trump lawyers said they don't want them to show video of the riot. Well, come on. Possibly because it shows people saying, well, your president sent us here. He wants us to be here. So Biden met with 10 Republican senators who want to cut the $1.9 trillion down to a $600 billion package, including cutting $400 off the relief check and not upping the minimum wage. So I'm going to ask, will the Dems use the nuclear option, which if they invoke that, or what's it called? Reconciliation is the other word for it. Option to pass the relief bill. You know, they want to cut it down to one, not even a third. So, so we'll look at that. Has anyone got any questions they want to ask? Iran, their first minister has said Biden has to prove America's credibility. So Iran, Biden, how is that going to go? How is that relationship going to go? Hi, Annette. Hi to those who are watching who aren't in the chat. So the Iran-Biden relationship, how's that going to go? Has anyone got a question? Will Congress pass immigration reform? Will Congress pass comprehensive immigration reform this year, 2021? Okay. I've written that down, Annette. So will Congress pass comprehensive immigration reform in 2021? Anyone else got a question? Hi, Catherine Stubbs. Any questions, guys? I'll check what I've got written down there. Hi, Linda. I hope you're starting to feel better. And happy birthday I suppose it was really yesterday your time, wasn't it? Holly Sims 7, hello. Will representatives get expelled or at least kicked off the education committee? Yeah, looking at that, what's McCarthy going to say to her, and will she get kicked off? So I will be looking at that. So Holly Sims 7, that's going to be first cab off the rank with Marjorie Taylor Greene. A newspaper in Missouri Haya Santua has told Josh Hawley either impose the law on Trump as should be done or resign. I don't think he's going to give in to a newspaper, but what is in store for Josh Hawley? People in Missouri are not happy with him. Hi, Judy Malley. You haven't had any coffee yet. Okay. Okay, so I think we'll make a start then. Marjorie Taylor Greene, what is going to go on in her meeting with Kevin McCarthy? Either he's going to show leadership or she's going to come out wearing his wearing a special pair of Kevin McCarthy earrings while he limps out behind her. So let's see. Oh, not sure about the stimulus checks. 2535 Apple. Does anybody else know what's in the thing in the bill? Will they be monthly? Or will it just be a one-off payment? So, guides at the highest truth and compassion. Meeting with Kevin McCarthy. So 2535 Apple, it would depend on what's in the package. If it's monthly in the relief package, then yeah, it'll be monthly, but I don't know. So yes, how did you go with the snowstorm? Yeah. But I hope everyone saw the video of the pandas at the Washington Zoo. I don't know whether it was in Washington State or Washington DC, but the pandas playing in the snow. It looked like they were having a ball. Hi, Debbie Fitzsimmons. Okay, so let's have a look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. What's going to happen with her? Killed an enemy. She wants to be the next big star. She wants to be in the limelight, and this is how she sees herself. She sees herself as the bright star of the Republican Party. What happened in the meeting? Okay, got the six. Okay, so I've got the Six of Swords, which is a transition card, a card of moving on. So it's going to, it should mark a change in the relationship, a transition in the relationship that she has with the rest of the Congress and the rest of the Republican caucus. The Devil, she's been warned before about this sort of behaviour, and she has just ignored it, chosen to ignore it. It is going to be made clear to her that she is losing support. But is she going to learn her lesson? Is she going to be punished? Will she be stripped of committee assignments and basically put on probation? Hi, Hope Green. Hi, GM Dave. Hi, Robin Hempel. Hope Green and Robin Hempel. I haven't seen you before. Thank you for joining me. It's lovely to see new names. And Annette from earlier as well. So I'm looking at, will she be stripped of her committee assignments? Well, she's certainly going to be, why should you remain there? Why shouldn't we strip you of them? I just think this is going to require more gumption than Kevin McCarthy has. 8 of Cups, abandonment. Knight of Cups. Yes, she could be. She could be forced to walk away from them. She could be, because Democrats have made quite clear if he doesn't, they will. And they will even vote to remove her, expel her from the Senate. The Republican caucus can do it on its own. 8 of Swords, she's definitely going to be restricted. Yeah, I think he's going to have to if he doesn't want the Republicans to raise a huge fuss. I don't think he's going to have much choice. Might even be advising her to resign. Yeah. I think there's several of them that are going to be under review over the next few months. Hi, Harry's mum. Yeah, so she's definitely, even though she thinks she's a star and above everyone else, she keeps making these mistakes and keeps doing these things, even though she knows that it's just going to get people upset. It's going to, you know. You keep fighting there, Linda. You keep fighting. Yeah, there's no way she should have been put on the edge. Any committee, until she should have been investigated much more thoroughly. Can you really have somebody in Congress who had supported talk of assassination of the Speaker of the House? You know, I just don't see how you can. I'm going to ask, will she be expelled from Congress? If she's expelled from Congress, she can never run again, I think. Hey, what? Gmail 5, I think I said hello. And hello to everyone else who's watching and not on the chat. Thank you for joining us. I was just saying, we're in lockdown here in Perth. You know, a security guard caught it working at one of the quarantine hotels caught the UK variant and went all over Perth. So this gives them a chance to get people in tested, and they did the tracing, and they're getting people in, testing them, and having people, you know, if you've been in a certain area, you can go and get tested, and without people going everywhere. So it's at the moment it's just till Friday. So there's definitely momentum to get rid of her. She could be suspended. It's definitely going to be embattled. 9 of Pentacles. Going to have to juggle, manipulate. 10 of Cups. You know, she could end up being expelled. If she doesn't leave on her own, she could end up being expelled. And she's definitely being investigated by prosecutors. So, attorney generals and, yeah. So she's definitely under investigation. Yes, I try not to dehumanize people, but sometimes you think, yeah, heinous creature just about fits some of these people. You know. So where's my little notebook? What's next? Yeah, well, they can still be stripped of their committee assignments. They did it with Steve King. And that was for insensitive racial comments. That wasn't for threatening to support the assassination of the Speaker of the House. Okay, Lindsey Graham. What is going on with him saying, you better not call witnesses because then the FBI will want to come in and it's going to extend the trial for months, saying, warning the Democrats not to call witnesses. I have green. What is going on with Lindsey Graham? I did, when was it? Was it Sunday morning or Thursday night? I did quite an in-depth reading on who QAnon is. Q is. So what's going on, guys? Thank you. What's going on with him? With this, you better not call witnesses. Overflowing with emotion. He's overflowing with emotion. Oh, he wants to stop. He knows that the momentum he wants to stop the momentum that's going within the Republican Senate ranks at the moment. I think there's a gathering momentum of maybe he needs to be convicted. He's certainly a lot of it's speaking. He's getting to the point where he thinks before he speaks before he thinks, and he acts purely on emotions. Half the things that come out of his mouth are just fear-based. He wants to stop the momentum. I think there might be a bit of a gathering momentum towards enough senators voting to convict Trump. Yeah, he's you know, he's trying to be Trump's mouthpiece. Now, I think there should be, if a senator cannot, who have sworn the oath to be fair and unbiased, if they come out and do something, they should be automatically recused. I don't know if that can be happened. Yeah, here it is again, halting momentum. I think there's talk amongst some more Republican senators. We know there's at least 5 who are highly likely, not guaranteed, to vote to convict him. There could be a building momentum and more talk amongst them, and he wants to stop that. He doesn't want details coming out. Hi, Joanne Mara. Hi, Estelle Harrington. Yeah, talking, staccato of an orator talking. Still, we've all heard rumours of the talking amongst the party, and so it's still fairly low key amongst the Republican Party. Apparently, 5,000 people, the Republicans in Arizona, changed their affiliation to either independent or something else from Republican because of the riot. One guy who was saying, oh, they did it because out of disgust because the GOP didn't, continued to certify the election after the riot. I think he's a little bit, he knows that Trump is on thin ice. Thank you. Hi, Christine Thomas. One of the biggest momentums behind shifting, this is, he wants to stop the trial if he can, or if not, slow it down. But one of the biggest reasons that senators are talking about it is that they have heard from major donors. If they want to be donating, if they want to get donations again from major donors who have drawn out from their campaigns, they're going to have to do the right thing. I mean, come on, he's complaining because one of the reasons he's giving is because there weren't any witnesses at the House impeachment trial. But who's he complaining? I mean, they wouldn't let any witnesses at the last impeachment trial, the Republicans, so really. Yeah, so it's by way of him trying to slow momentum, threatening to slow the trial down and draw it out for months, but also the thing is, that the senators have nothing to fear and had no role or no involvement in this. They really don't have anything to fear in voting, except maybe, well, not getting their seat at the next election. But some of them are in for another 6 years, you know. So it's like, yeah. He doesn't worry. He doesn't want, yeah, well, that's part of it too. He's worried. He's scared. The more and more scared he gets, the more he talks first and thinks later. Okay. Hi, Debbie. Okay. This messing with the stock market. It's silver currently. Last week it was GameStop. This week it's silver, but apparently the Reddit thing beat the wall or whatever they call it. They're saying, well, it's not them messing with silver, that it's probably, you know, the hedge fund managers and all that. Yes, yeah, I know that. They can't. Africa and Brazil, the last two variants. So what's going on? Are they going to be investigations into what's been happening on Wall Street? What's on the bottom? Yes, but not very strong ones. Basically, the FCC is pretty weak at the moment. They really need strengthening. What they'll do is a very, what would you call it, superficial, you know. Yeah, they're going to do one because it's going to be demanded, but they're going to be pretty apathetic about it. They're to use an Australian phrase, they're piss-ass weak. Okay, but they are going to do one because they're not going to have a choice. It's not going to achieve very much in the way of reforming practices at the moment. That's not to say that this won't change in the future, but, you know, Knight of Cups, yeah, it's going to be very superficial. The Knight of Cups, it's also can be known as a very superficial knight, charming on the surface, but no substance. They're romanticized, so it's going to be pretty superficial. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty, the Chariot, Seven of Cups reverse, Chariot reverse, Eight of Swords reverse. It's going to be designed to try and delude people into thinking that measures are being taken when they aren't. It's not leading to any real change. It's not going to fire up momentum for change in Wall Street at the moment. In fact, it's going to sort of be a way that they can basically giving some traders who shouldn't even be there a bit of a get out of jail free card. Will that change in the future? At the moment, yeah, if they do any investigating into what's been happening, it's all going to be pretty superficial and piss-ass weak. Will there be a changes in the FCC in the future? Yes, there will be momentum and change in the FCC in the future, but currently, and that's a major arcana, that's a further away in time, then yes, there will be movement, transition into a, this is the sword, so it's going to be tougher and more legal. And it's going to lead to there's a new sheriff in town, basically, but that's still a little bit away. Basically, Wall Street is not a top priority for Biden, you know, as far as reforming it and the FCC and all that. But there will be someone you put in there and they will start making a difference, but it's a fair way away. Anything that's done at the moment with the FCC is going to be pretty superficial and, yeah, not much. But that will change in the future. Will the Dems use the nuclear, or what do they call it, reconciliation, to get the relief bill passed? No, Catherine Stubbs, I believe you 20,000 mutations, and mutations happen every time somebody, you know, it's, yeah. Yeah. So I think the Dems would like to not have to use reconciliation. They would like to get the 10 votes to get 60, but no. Eight of Cups, Five of Cups, no, I don't think they will. King of Cups, yeah. Most of it's been no. Seven of Cups. Will the Dems use reconciliation? It's not something they want to use too often. Like hell, I think McConnell used it all the time. Will the Dems use reconciliation? Strength, yes. Queen of Wands, yes. Judgment. You know, they're going to be, yeah, they might do it to get this relief bill through, but it's not an option they want to use unless they absolutely have to. There are other pathways they would prefer to use, but this relief bill is really more important than that. It is definitely not an option they want to use lightly, but they feel that if they don't use it, the tower's going to come down. So by using it, it's going to avoid a real big tower event in America of epic proportions, possible depression. I think if they don't use it, America will go into a depression, and they want to try and avoid that. $600 billion will not avoid America from depression. This relief bill will. It doesn't mean it's going to, America's economy is going to bounce back immediately, but it is going to lessen the impact of it. But if they don't, yeah. Hi, Annie S. Oh, I forget, Catherine, you're a doctor, aren't you? Is that right? You're a healthcare professional? Okay, Iran and Biden. How is that going to go? How is that relationship going to go? Let's have a look at what is, because, you know, Iran's basically said, you know, we're not going to give you long, but you've got to prove you're more creditable to us. So the Biden administration and Iran, what's going to happen with that relationship? I'll do a cross on that. Yeah, just put in the DOI and people can go, and if you're not familiar with those references, you put in the from DOI there to the end there, you just copy and paste that into your browser and it'll come up with the site where you can get these things. Hi, Aman SC. It's nice to, Emily Esley. It's nice to see a new name. Thank you and welcome. Hi to everyone else who's watching. Yes, of course, you can pose a question. Is it Emily? What's your question? As long as it's not personal, yeah, I can, you can pose a question. I do personal readings. Yeah, okay, definitely a healthcare professional. Cool. Who wallowed bells an intention to me? Is that a personal question, Amani? Because I don't do personal questions on community health nursing retired. That's great. Community health nursing, what a wonderful thing. I'm not very good in English. Okay, Amani. Yeah, I don't do personal questions. So if it's about you, I don't do that online. I do readings. So if you go to my community page, you can find out about getting a reading from me. That if you have a question about your country or, you know, COVID or what country you're in and how it's going to deal with COVID or something. Oh, green, you're Scots. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Thank you, Linda. Okay. Yeah. Now you can just go in and put in the DOI address into your search bar, and usually, generally it comes up. Having done read a lot of academic papers, I know. Yeah. Okay, so what's in store for the relationship between the Biden administration and Iran? It's going to take time. And then MNESC, that's wonderful that you try. And, you know, don't be afraid if you make mistakes on this with the way you say things or write things. Nobody is going to chastise you for getting a phrase wrong or something. And if you want some help with a phrase, I'm sure that if I see you asking for help with a phrase or how to put something, or one of the others do, I'm sure they'll be happy to help. So, so yeah. So this is going to take some time. It's going to be slower than would be desired, but it might take a bit longer than you'd hope. But that doesn't mean that Iran's going to run out of patience or whatever. Okay, the challenge is it's going to be a very delicate, sometimes razor edge tipping point relationship, and the challenge is for both countries to avoid that sort of tipping point confrontation. So that's going to be the biggest challenge over the next few months between the new administration and Iran. Basically, the administration has inherited a burden from the previous administration in that Trump pulled out of the nuclear deal, and then he had that guy, that general killed, and so the damage between the two nations that Trump did is a huge burden. My area of expertise, geographic information systems and remote sensing, and I did my master's on the spread and distribution of Ross River virus and how it was affected by ocean currents, such as the Indian Ocean Dipole and the ENSO, the Southern Oscillation Index, the EOI, the SOI, the Southern Oscillation Index. So, yeah. So a little bit of spatial epidemiology. Anyway, past actions leading up to where they are now. There's this distrust, but definitely an air of distrust. And it's sort of like it started this is new, so it's like the trust has been pushed right back down to the lowest levels it can get. So the mistrust between the two is down low. The jack is, if you're looking at courtiers or courts, the jack is at the lowest level of society. In courtly society, it's at the lowest level of that society. So it's the bottom level, the lowest level of trust. So the distrust is very high. Possibly a great deal of paranoia on the Iranian side, and possibly even a bit of worry about spies and people not doing the right thing on the American side as well. What's overhanging this? Ace of Pentacles. Resources needing to be spent on re-establishing the relationship. but also Lena Rodriguez, absolutely wonderful. One of the very first things I learnt from her was the gap in the hedge here. There needs to be great care taken not to make the mistakes that were made in the past with Iran. And this can apply to both sides as well. And for Iran not to make the mistakes that they made in the past when dealing with Trump, which was basically treating him with contempt. Not that he didn't deserve to be treated with contempt, he did. But they don't make the mistake of treating Biden with contempt, and Biden can't make the mistake of just, well, we're going to call the shots on everything now via our New Deal. So there's mistakes from the past that they have to be careful not to repeat. And this is really important that they do that because of the burden that was left, the burden of distrust and dismay and a knife edge situation that can topple at any minute. In the immediate future, there's going to be a little bit of a rebalance, and it's going to be important. So there's going to be something that they can find a new balance with. The immediate future, the import is quite great because it's a major arcana. The immediate future, somewhere in the next couple of months, they're gonna find something that's gonna help rebalance things a little bit and calm things down a bit. The Temperance card is also a card of tempering things down, cooling things down, calming things down. So it looks like, and it's right next to the challenge of avoiding a catastrophic event is right next to that. So hopefully that means that both countries will have met the challenge of avoiding something like that happening. In the environment around the relationship between the two countries, there is going to be hope. There is hope. And this, again, is good because it is a major arcana. It's a big impact. So some major cause for hope. As always, there's got to be some caution. Looking in new directions, part of the star card is inspiration, new inspirations and looking for new direction. So there's going to be a bit of that too, talking with each other. Hi, Kathy W. I'm talking about the relationship between the US and Iran over the next few months. Yeah, so there is hope and quite a great deal of hope that a new relationship can be established. What do people see? This is a relationship that was totally battered, had the crap battered out of it by Trump. Both sides are quite embattled as a result of it. Iran aren't blaming Biden for what Trump did, but they do expect Biden to re-establish credibility between the two countries. And so, yeah, so other people looking on seeing a relationship that was embattled, but is still standing and still has hope because this guy is holding what might seem like his last defensive support, but it hasn't been taken away, so there's still hope. Hi, Deanna Gonzalez. Lovely to see the new name. Thank you for joining me. Oh, you found me the other night with Sheila, Nina, and Whimsy. Well, it's lovely. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy what I do. And yeah, as I say, it's always lovely to see new names along with all the old names. who've been there for right from the start, and you have no idea how much I appreciate the support and encouragement I get from you guys. Okay, so what are the hopes and fears with this relationship? The hope, of course, is that everything will work out and be fine. Sunshine, lollipops and rainbows as such. The fear is, of course, that we could be heading into a dark time in the relationship with Iran. So that is, yeah, so that's the hope is that everything will be fine. The fear is that the US could be heading into a period of darkness in the relationship with Iran, and quite a depressing time. Now, what's the outcomes for this? Momentum. Now, there's a lot of major arcana here, so the impacts are quite great. So, forward momentum with the Chariot. Page of Cups. A new emotion, a new news, surprising news. Because the pages are often, quite often messengers as well. So there could be some news that helps with the momentum in the relationship. A pause. So this could lead to a pause with the Iranians, with what they're heading towards with their nuclear material and all that. It could lead to a pause to that, or a different suspension. But it could, considering it's got the momentum card in the Chariot, could be surprising news that leads to a pause in Iranian momentum. And this is good. This is the Six of Pentacles. Deals, loan sharing, coming to some sort of an agreement. So it will hopefully lead to a new agreement that puts a pause on, hopefully, weapons. But there'll hopefully be a pause in, there'll be momentum to get to a new agreement, which will put a pause to some activities. Yeah. So that's the Iran-US relationship. Immigration reform in 2021. Will there be comprehensive immigration reform in 2021? Will there be a solution to the fascist problem? Okay. People are allowed to express their political ideals, but it's a hard one, isn't it? It's strange how these people, some people don't equate fascism with communism. They think they're two separate things, but really, full-on communism, communism is not socialism. It's a completely different thing. And fascism is different as well, but it shares a lot of the tactics. So communists borrowed a lot of tactics from fascists. They're much closer together than you think. And people who call themselves fascists, or or they see themselves as patriots. So what do they say? Patriotism is the last refuge of a scoundrel. Hi, Carol Jaggy. So what is next? Yes, please do remember to hit the like button. What's next? Oh, will there be comprehensive immigration reform in 2021? Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? That's all right, GMR5. Have a good day. So, will there be comprehensive immigration reform? Yeah, nobody in their right mind is inclined to accept fascism. I certainly wouldn't. That's a good question, Deanna. I'll have a look at that. After the impeachment, will the Republicans begin to work with the Democrats in a more cooperative manner? I'm certainly going to ask that. We'll do that now, actually. GM Dave, you're from a family of evangelicals. Hi, Condagua. How are you? How's Melbourne? Are you all laughing at Perth at the moment? Okay, Deanna, your question is a really good one. Once we get past the impeachment, will the Republicans begin to work with the Democrats in a more cooperative manner? Post-impeachment, will the Republicans work with? Yes and no. They're going to be determined to hang on to the seats they have, but they are going to be more open to making deals. So I'll go down the line here. So they're determined to hang on to their seats in Congress. They will work to some extent with the White House, and there will be some minor celebrations, but they're gonna take their time doing it. They are gonna slow things down. Of course, they're not going to have Mitch, the bill killer, there. So, yes, there's going to be more sharing and working with people, but there's still going to be a lot of hidden obstacles in working with Biden, So it's going to be a bit of yes and no. There's some things they're going to try and stop. But there's also going to be some, answer your questions, there's going to be a few of them who are going to be in for a bit of an anxious time. So they're definitely going to be doing some things which are going to be felt like betraying their constituents and stuff, and it's going to be, they're still going to be doing some things, messing around with some things that okay. You know how they've been messing around with some of the confirmations? They're going to do that with, there's going to be some new Supreme Court justices put forward, and they're going to be doing that with these guys, messing with them, trying to stop them from being put up, and things like that. So, look, there's going to be small things that they'll be more cooperative on, but overall I think it's going to be pretty much business as usual until the Republican Party gets cleaned out and all the sludge strained out of it. They're still going to be pretty much business as usual, with every now and then they'll give dog a bone. But if it's really important, the Democrats will work around them. I got the question went through my mind, and it's strange when that happens, is the question went through my mind is, will they lose a couple of senators? Will they change their affiliation? Not necessarily to Democrats, but maybe to independent. Are the Republicans going to lose a couple of senators? King of Pentacles, that's a yes. Four of Swords is a no. Nine of Cups is a yes. Okay, I think at least one's going to be retiring for whatever reason. Could be health. So they might be losing one there, and his replacement, you know, it will be the governor that decides if they retire, or will there be a special election? I'm not quite sure how that works. But there's going to be a couple who things have not, they've not gotten what they were promised from it, or the ideals that they swore to uphold or were told that they were there to uphold aren't being upheld. So there are a couple of disillusioned ones. Magician and, yeah, I think they could, because we've got the Magician and the Sun as well. These are two cards with big impacts. So they could lose a couple of senators, not necessarily swapping to Democrat, but possibly independent, and willing to work more closely with the Democrats and do their job. And they could possibly lose one having to retire because they're sick. As for Graham and McConnell, don't know what's going to happen with them, but I think their time is coming to an end. Hi, Twaina. Yeah, no, it's still pretty dangerous out there. Kundagwa, we're not in any danger of it where we are, but it is a huge area. The fire scar is going to be huge, and even bigger than the one a couple of years back when the small town got south of Perth, where the small town got totally destroyed. Yeah, no, well, no, not yet, but they're still sort of waiting on tenterhooks, because, as a lot of people know, when you're put into quarantine and lockdown, a lot of his first contacts have been put into quarantine. They've had one test, but then they're going to have other tests later on. And yeah, he's okay. Just the dogs around the place are talking, barking, and he's barking back. So yeah, Whitby. Yes, Joe Manchin. What's going on with him? What is going on with Joe Manchin? What's his problem? What's his problem? Joe Manchin, what is his problem? I feel like he's in the wrong party. he doesn't really want to be there. It's not what he thought it would be. I don't. Retirement, he needs to retire, he needs to retreat. I'll do an overview here. Current influences, stronger influences. Judgment. Feels like he's being judged by the Democrats, the other Democrats. He's sitting pretty at the moment and will be for a while. He's got some sort of agenda. He's got like quite a few. Yet he's an outside influence. There's something going to come out about his donors. Yet he's there to carry out somebody else's agenda. He really needs to go. He really needs to go. He's definitely going to end up being judged. He's got an outside influence that is quite strong. He's there to carry out, underneath him is somebody else's agenda. He's sitting pretty, did it for money. So basically he's not there for the right reasons at all. So I think there'll probably be some investigation into his donors and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Whitby! Time for bed, Bubba boy. Okay, what else have I got on? Oh, yeah. Immigration reform. Will there be comprehensive immigration reform in 2021? Yeah. If he comes in too strongly Democrat, he'll probably be voted out next term too. That's one of the reasons as well. He really shouldn't be there. More of a sleeper. That's, with the night sleeping. Okay. Some people want to hang on to the way things are. Don't see the point in immigration reform. The challenge here, Republican Party, yeah, of course. But the fact is, the way immigration is at the moment, it's led to losses and deep regrets, and it's not a good thing. Look at what happened with those babies at the border. Past actions leading up to, there is a real need for more resources to go into immigration reform. Not just money, but good people, good brains, good thinkers, smart people, the right sort of people. And that doesn't mean, the best sort of people for it. There's a real need for that sort of resources in it. Not necessarily money, but money is certainly help. And also facilities as well. That's a form of resource. Theft, yeah, above it, there's this theft, the strategy to steal people's chances away from them. That's led to loss and, old, outdated views and things, and people, yeah, clinging to old, outdated ideas and views. In the immediate future, most Americans are demanding a change. More Americans are demanding a change to the way immigrants are treated, and the immigration system then aren't. So this is good. This is the American people. The good, nurturing, welcoming side. That call is going to come out more and more and more. Okay. In the environment, about changes this is a major arcana, the second one, and the environment is change. So there is change in immigration. So there is immigration reform is in the environment. It's not, and it is going to be major. There is going to be comprehensive changes. This being a major arcana. What do people see? People see critical decisions need to be made, and the blindfold has to come off. The blinkers have to come off with regard to how pretty messed up the system really is at the moment. How much the real critical decisions need to be made. What are the hopes and fears with regard to immigration reform? They hope that compassionate person is going to be put in charge, someone who is intuitive and with good leadership and bringing fresh energy and new fire. The theory, of course, is that it's just going to be the same old type of bureaucrat put in charge. What's the outcome for immigration reform in 2021? There's definitely going to be assessment and weeding out that. There's definitely going to be the realisation that it needs to be more nurturing and, you know, the reactive approach needs to have a lid put on. The reactive is not good. Proactive is good. So that's with the Queen of Cups. Six of Swords is transition through rocky waters. And Ace of Swords, some truths coming out and some stuff being cut away. So, yeah, if that's not complete reform in 2021, there is going to be significant progress in making the changes that are needed during 2021. You might not hear about it all the time, but there's definitely going to be some changes. Okay, what else is on my list? Oh, what is in the future for Josh Hawley? Let's have a look at that dude. What's going on with him? We're big. Yeah. Little Bubba. He got a treat tonight. Got to go for a drive with Mummy and Daddy while we went out and got some dinner. And ouch. Yeah, it's hard when your thumb's all wrapped up, isn't it? You can't really do much on that hand. What's going on with Josh Hawley? How are things going in Scotland? I presume you're in Scotland, Hope. Are you in Scotland? Or are you in the US? Okay, Josh Hawley. Oh, he is in for some anxiety. I'm going to do a 7-card overview with him, which is what I did with that other dude, Mansion. He's in for an anxious time. People in Missouri not happy with him. There are consequences for your actions, and you will find that out. So, The Republican Party is above him. The facade of the Republican Party. And that facade is crumbling. What is in his immediate future? Oh, this is interesting. Justice. Justice. That's interesting. Beneath him, the need for support from the Republican Party. So he's going to be needing support from the Republican Party in what is a really anxious time. I don't know if he's going to get it. I might do some clarifiers on that. Past actions leading up to where now some things are going to come to light. Was he part of the planning? The next step for him, end of one journey, start of another, and also maybe some outside influence coming to light. Let's have a look at this. What is the Republican Party card about? Yeah. I'm so sorry that, I mean, as always, along with the US losing so many, the UK's lost over 100,000 now. You know, with the difference in population, it's actually, the UK's got the highest rate of loss. So, yeah. So what's going on with the Republican Party? King of Cups, new journey. They want to start a new journey with Biden, a new partnership with Biden. And they know if they do that, they might have to get rid of a few people. What is going on with this? Queen of Wands, investigations. A reap what you sow card, 7 of Pentacles. Burden. He's not going to be in for a very good time, actually. It's Justice card. Is he going to be... What's going on there? Knight of Wands, investigations. Yeah, King of Swords, that's prosecution for me. My readings. Knight of Pentacles. Slow, need for lawyers. Well, he's in a lot of trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. Now, given that Justice and the World and the Moon are major arcanas, this might not. But Justice is in the near future card. So but it might still take some time to play out. But, you know. I don't know if Hawley's going to make it to 2024. Trainer? Will Hawley make it to 2024? Is Hawley going to finish out his term? Let's have a look. Now, I've got a thing here with a spread on it. It's a little 5-card spread. Hi, Gail K. I did do Marjorie Taylor Greene. She was the first one I did tonight. So if you, after I finish, if you want to go back and look, you'll see what I did for her. Thank you for joining, and thank you for your comment. I understand that the people who watch and don't comment, which is fine. That's absolutely fine. But thank you for your comment, Gail. So I've got this spread. Look at it. It's a 5-card spread. It's got the past, now, the best to come, the worst to come, and if he keeps going down this path, what his outcome is going to be. So let's see. Josh Hawley, past. Ooh. This is interesting. Rest, retreat. Retreat in his past. Now, legacy, money. He feels like he's building a legacy. That's what he thinks. He's building a legacy. He grabbed his chance. Okay. He was pretty much in the background in the past. This is being in the background. This is being more retiring in the past. But this came up and he saw it as his opportunity to make his name and to start building a holy legacy with the Senate. The best to come for him. He's got everything he needs to get himself out of trouble. Okay, so at the best, he can get himself out of trouble. He's got everything he needs to do that. He's got the resources to get himself out of trouble. The worst that comes is chaos in his life, creating chaos, people coming in and investigating him. This is people charging in to investigate him and cause chaos in his life. What's going to happen to him if he continues down this path? Knight of Cups, an offer. The thing that went through my mind as an offer is retire voluntarily or we will retire you. Hi, Robin Arvin. It's on the bottom there. Oh, he's going to be in battle, definitely in battle. So let's see, what is that Knight of Cups about? We'll take the embattled card and we'll put that there. Shut my mouth before I catch flies. Notice my mouth was hanging open. And so my mum used to say, shut your mouth or you'll be catching flies. What is going on? A new journey, the Fool, a fresh start. An offer for him to make a fresh start. Heartbreak and betrayal. This Magician. This could also be something coming out of thin air for him. Let's have a look on that Magician as well. Whoa! Tower. Tower moment out of nowhere. So this is a tower moment out of nowhere. That's got a big impact. This is the best he can hope for. The worst he can hope for is investigations into his resources and the end of things. Yeah, the end of his cycle, where he's at. No, I don't think things are looking very good for him. I don't think he's going to make it to 2024. I think this offer might be if you don't opt to retire, we will primary you. And he'll lose if he's primaried. Very interesting. Okay, who's got a question? I'm out of questions at the moment. Oh, well, I hope you're safe and comfortable where you are, Hope, and that you get back to your home as soon as you can. Anyone got any questions? Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, big yawn. Because if there's no questions, I might wrap it up. And yeah. So I think what I'll do now is wrap it up, as it's an hour and a half. Will establishment Democrats grow or pair? I can do that very quickly, Dave. How about will they toughen up, get tougher? But I watched a thing on Andrew Jackson today, and it's like, friggin' hell, is Trump that man a reincarnation of that man or what? You know? Something went review on my screen. So, yeah, that man. Oh, the VP home is being, it had to be, some repairs had to be done to it. That's why they're not there yet. It's going to take a couple of weeks to, I think 2 or 3 weeks to do what had to be done at the house. I thought it was a good opportunity to get some much needed repairs in. That's why she's not there yet. Okay. Will the Democrats toughen up? Biden plans change. Things coming to new light. The White House. Yes, I think they will. As things change, as older members leave and stuff and retire, and the younger ones coming through, yes, they will get tougher. And they will start standing their ground more. So, yeah, I think they will. But it's not going to happen overnight. And what was the other one? Will some of the GOP come out and tell the truth? Yeah. I get the text freezing sometimes too. Yeah, I understand that. So will some of those GOP members come out and tell what really happened? No, they won't. They won't unless they're absolutely forced to, subpoenaed to. They're too scared. They're too scared. They'll stand their ground and defend themselves. They won't come out and tell the truth about what happened because they just want to hang on to their seats, and they're still too scared of Trump. They don't have the strength or the patience to do what they need to do. So they're weak ass. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to go now. Thank you for joining me. Please look after yourself. Stay safe, stay strong, stay loving, and I will see you in a couple of days. Bye-bye.